Oh, I should probably turn the camera on. That would be a really good way to start the show. Hi, how you doing? Welcome back to Damon Brews Plus. It is Wednesday, May 21st. It's great to have you back. It really is. Thanks for coming on by. Sporticus, all excited. It's a Club Plus Thursday. Yeah, but it's Wednesday, so it's not quite Thursday yet, Sporticus. But I love the enthusiasm. I really, really do. It is great to have you here. We're brought to you by Ike Sandwiches. We do not have that much to get into today, but a very interesting today in history that we do got to get to. And then I got to get downtown before pregame traffic really starts gumming up that 280 entrance around the ballpark. I think the Giants are playing at 12:45 today, and I got a lunch that I got to get to today. So I got a quick one for you, but I will never waste your time. This will be a valuable program for those of you who are here today, and I can only promise you, we do have visual aids. We have some visual aids, so it is great to have you here. Thank you very much. Carry on, hit that like button, smash it. I mean, get aggressive on that like button. That's what we would like to see you doing here today. There's no doubt about that. So look, let's jump right into the fact that the NFL wants in on the Olympics. And this isn't about competition. This isn't about showing the world how good you are, because the competition in the NFL is unquestioned, and how good and how successful and how profitable it all is also totally unquestionable. It's a monster. This is about hogging as much attention as possible. And this is about greed. This is about using the Olympics as an avenue to grow the NFL brand. And to me, that's a little distasteful. Now, I'm not some naive schmuck who thinks that, that person running in that track meet or that pole vaulter is an amateur at that. You don't get to the Olympics without a level of professionalism attached. But, when it comes to team sports, there really is a difference. There's just a difference in my mind that isn't required for this moment. Flag football is coming to LA in 2028, and the NFL owners, who, by the way, voted on a couple of other things today, didn't vote on one thing, did vote on the other, and we'll get to all of that. But anyways, the NFL wants to muscle in on the Olympic coverage, and there will be a lot of Olympic coverage because flag football will be used as an Olympic event for the very first time in LA 2028. Now, look, I can have as much fun as the next guy putting together the flag football dream team. That's a fun show. That's a fun segment. That's a fun call-in segment. Who would you take? What would be your all-time flag football? Then you could talk about the differences between NFL flag football and tackle football and flag football, and what different tendencies and abilities and skill sets you're really looking for in this case. There is some certain fun to have by trying to fit the NFL into this flag football model. But what you don't need is to put NFL players on a flag football field for America to win flag football games. That's ridiculous. We could send, Gatorade, Under Armour, high school all-stars and be undefeated in this thing. What are we worried about? Germany's flag football team? Were we worried about Taiwan's flag football team? I'm not. Here's we had to send the pros because in the sports of hockey and basketball, other countries were sending pros, and our college-age kids were just getting beaten by adults, by grown men. I really wish that we could still win the Olympics without sending a dream team, by sending our best college players. How awesome would that be? But I guess that world doesn't exist anymore because the globe has gotten that good at it. Maybe you will have to send NFL players to win a flag football tournament against the globe years from now, when the globe catches up in flag football to America. Wait for that moment. Let college kids, let high school kids, let amateurs, not professional football players, play. No other country is playing professional football, American football. And if they are, it's such a club sport to not even be considered a serious threat that there's no reason to send the pros. Now, I haven't even gotten to the number one reason why we shouldn't do it. And that is, could you imagine? Just bear with me for a second here. Imagine the 49ers send Christian McCaffrey, Ricky Pearsall, Diamador Lenore to go play flag football, and two of them suffer season-ending injuries. Or just one of them. Or anybody who has a snap of NFL coming up for them next year. To be hurt in a flag football game would be absolutely preposterous and ridiculous. There is no drama. There is no romanticism attached to a gold medal in football. It's why soccer shouldn't even honestly be an international sport, because nothing's bigger than the World Cup. Now, hockey isn't ingrained as an Olympic sport, but still, nothing is bigger than the Stanley Cup. And, the NBA Finals is still the monster of them all, but the NBA the Olympic gold medal in basketball does mean something. Why? Because we decided it really did when we got screwed out of one by Russia. So, let America get totally fucked over in the world of flag football before we start sending nuclear missiles of football talent at the Olympics. I don't get it. I just don't get it. JJ Rader says, Damon, the problem is that the majority of the Olympics don't care about flag football, so we won't send our best players. The perfect example is football or soccer. Well, it's not that we won't send our best players. Really good players will go. Really good players, but you don't have to. You just don't have to. And the thing is, if you're saying, most people don't care about flag football, therefore they wouldn't watch this Olympic event in nearly the same way they will if they send the pros. Name recognition. Now, I get it, but I'm not doing anything to just try to boost Olympic ratings here. I'm talking about what's actually good for the game and good for competition, and then better for the NFL. The NFL doesn't need the Olympics to do more business, brisker global business, have more exposure. This is the most exposed, profitable sports league in the world, for fuck's sakes. Leave something for someone else. But don't give me that old, because we don't recognize, we won't watch. We don't know a single person swimming in that pool. We don't know a single person, but maybe two or three of them, probably because one of those chicks smoke weed. So we know who Sha'Carri Richardson's name is, but I can't name another female track athlete. Neither can you. And no one knows any of these nameless, faceless, but for a 2-week summer Olympiad period where they become a little bit of stars. And how cool would that be for a high school kid or a college kid playing flag football? I'll tell you, my kindergartner, Jack, had a great time playing flag football. Flag football is great. It's really not that great of a spectator sport. Football without defensive intensity, violence, and hitting, it's not as much fun to watch. At some point, you're just watching dudes toss a ball around without all that violence. Robert Edwards. Hold on. Sip of the day incoming. Robert Edwards, beach football. Look it up. Robert Edwards was a New England Patriots running back who, during the Pro Bowl, was out playing like an MTV rock and jock beach softball. I don't even think it was sanctioned by the NFL or the Pro Bowl. It might have been an MTV thing. I can't remember exactly. What could possibly go wrong? These guys survive NFL games. What could possibly go wrong? Well, he went up for a ball in an end zone and came down and so mangled his knee in a catastrophic leg injury right there on the beach where everything dislocated and tore. They were talking about amputating his leg might be the best way to fix it. That's how bad that was. So you can take really big, strong NFL football player, put him in it's not nearly as dangerous situation, and it's still football, kids. You can come away injured from any sport, competing hard at its highest level. Not a down, not a snap of football would I be willing the team that I root for to jeopardize because we sent player X to go play flag football in LA. It just doesn't make any sense to me. There is not a need. There is no There's no competition that requires we send in our very best. A high school team, a really good high school team, should be able to win the first ever Olympic flag football gold medal from America. Come on. It's crazy. So there you go. Like, I think the joke was it's really nice that the 49ers are signing like a player by the day because it gives you a little content and something to talk about. Well, the player, obviously who just got his deal done was Fred Warner. That came after Kittle with a guy named Brock Purdy sandwiched in between. But then we have the official, even though you know about it, he's now actually signing the contract. And what do you know? We got the picture of Brock Purdy with the red quill actually signing the contract today. I guess around 1:30, the 49ers are going to have a press conference where Brock Purdy is going to address the media. The only thing I can tell you is that I was right about the red quill. I remembered a quill. So the quill is back. Haven't seen Kittle hit the quill. Did he get the quill? I don't. Either way. What I do know is that Brock Purdy is going to crush this press conference because that's what Brock does. He's the perfect face of a franchise. And if you wanted any more like reassurance that they just invested in the right guy. If you want to argue he's not the right quarterback, that's on you. But just as far as a guy goes, how many people do you know receive life-changing money? I'm talking about it's going to change your life, your wife's life, your kid's life, your grandkids, your great-grandkids, your great-great-grandkids, the kind of money that is generational wealth. And what does Brock Purdy do? Does he announce it at a Bugatti dealership, sitting on the back of a brand new Lamborghini or anything like that? Is he out at sea on a boat that we could only dream to catch a ride on one day, much less own, because this guy went out and bought an 80-foot bay cruiser or anything like that, spent a couple $1 million on a boat, a yacht, anything? No. Brock Purdy announces the richest deal in the history of the San Francisco 49ers by showing everybody the cake that his mom baked for him. Congrats, Brock. Go number 13. It's so freaking charming. It really is. Fantastic. What do we got here, Clown Man? 82? Absolutely 100% not. Damon Bruce, number one off-the-cuff improvisation genius in the internet-based sports talk universe. Clown Man, I know you're a harsh critic, so I thank you. Thank you very, very much. Yeah, seriously, like Olympic beer pong coming to the Olympics soon. It's getting a little ridiculous. Let me tell you, if there is send the Indiana team. We'll win. We'll bring home gold. I guarantee you. There's a euchre. They're having a euchre tournament for Olympic gold. You can send 4 old ladies from the state of Indiana. They will bring home that shit in the men's division. Anyways, congrats to Brock, his cake. I mean, seriously, like, I think it's so charming when I watch Jillian, my wife. She insists on baking each boy their birthday cake. I love that about her. There's something about a mom baking a cake for her son that is just, as American as a Norman Rockwell painting. Like, it's so sweet. And there he is, Mr. 100 millionaire, getting a cake from his mom. That's your quarterback right there. I like that. NFL news around football that isn't Olympics or Brock getting a cake. The Tush push remains. Good. I think the Tush push should remain. I know Larry and I have argued about this. We've talked about it. He's like, I don't want it to happen. Imagine if some team just Tush pushed their way. It's bad for TV. It's bad for football. You know what? Stop it. And today, putting it up for a vote, the NFL said, Tush push, you're staying by a vote of 22-10. And this was brought by the Green Bay Packers to the competition committee because they were tired of losing to the Eagles and getting Tush pushed around. Last game the Packers lost to the Eagles was 22-10 this year. Time is a flat circle. The Tush push survives by a 22-10 vote. Same score as the Packers lost to the Eagles. Fantastic. How great is that? So there you go. Tush push stays. Eagles social media just put out a picture of the team like lined up in tush push formation and just said, push on. Good job, Eagles social media. You nailed it on that one. The Lions had a proposal out there, and what they wanted to do was restructure the NFL playoffs as we know them, to where winning a division doesn't mean you're starting at home. ESPN wrote, in an effort to keep late season games more competitive, the Lions have proposed a bylaw that would guarantee only the division winner in each conference with the best record a home playoff game. The rest of the playoff field would have been seeded strictly by record. Now, there's a point of me that it will, agree that geography doesn't nearly matter as much as it used to, but I do think geographical rivals matter. I think divisions matter. I want divisions to matter. That game against the Rams, the 2 a year, look at it this way. If we're going to eliminate that, why even have divisions anymore? Why would you play the Rams twice a year? Bring in another team. So it's a terrible idea on that alone. And this whole guise of like, well, they just want to make Week 18 more competitive. No, the Lions are doing this because they're sour grapesing the fact that they had a really good record, but lost to the Vikings in their division and had to start their playoff path on the road. That's what this is about. This isn't about keeping Week 18 competitive at all. There's a desire among NFL executives to make late season games more exciting and to incentivize teams to play their starters in Week 18. There wasn't enough support from the league, so the owners, from league owners, so Detroit pulled the proposal. So it didn't even get to a vote. They knew that they didn't have it, and they didn't want to be embarrassed by how lopsided I think this was going to go down. And let me just say, too, here, the NFL can't have it all. I mean, they really can't. I love that they're going for it all, but they can't have it all. And it feels like what the NFL really wants is to have as many people watch Week 18 as Week 1 as the Super Bowl. We want all eyes at all times. You can't have it all. But here's what you do have now to get you through your Week 18 struggles, you sons of bitches. You got fantasy football and gambling like never before. If that isn't enough to keep attention, you can't have it all. You shouldn't be able to have it all. Seriously. So I'm glad that it didn't even go down. Mike Tomlin at the owners meeting in Florida about a month ago, he said something, and I'm just going to agree with it because I'm the same thing. Mike Tomlin said, I'm a division purist, to be quite honest with you. I love the rivalries that are division play. I love the structure of our scheduling that highlights it. I just categorize myself as a division purist. I think the division winner should get a home playoff game. So do I. I never said it out loud before. I didn't know that I was until Mike Tomlin told me about it when I read this quote today. I'm a division purist. So I'm good with it. I'm glad that didn't even come to a vote. Final NFL note of this live stream. Let me first let you know that, I told you I'm going downtown for a little lunch today. Got to meet someone. We're not meeting at Ike's, but we should. I think I'm going to need some Ike's later this week. I think you should be eating Ike's for lunch just about, every day. And if you're ordering lunch for your office, you should check out Ike's Catering because it's going to make your entire office happy. My man has over 125 locations up and down the West Coast, expanding eastward, westward. They're in Hawaii now, for goodness sakes. Hopefully there's an Ike's coming to you soon. And as soon as there is, you go in there, you order a Damon Bruce. You'll be very happy that you did. Sandwiches for absolutely everyone. Sign up for the Love Rewards program, and you will earn your way to free sandwiches, chips, drinks, good stuff. Speaking of drinks, Always poured perfectly at the Dubliner West Portal. Muni will drop you off and pick your drunk ass up right outside. Go ahead and get to the Dubliner. Where are you watching the Bing Bong Knicks play tonight? Where were you watching little playoff basketball last night? Where are you going to be watching the 2028, let's hope they don't send NFL players to flag football Olympics? Do it at the Dubliner West Portal. Say hi to Kenny and John for me. They love hearing from you. I love those guys. They are fantastic. And what I would love for you to do, seriously love for you to do, is to download the Campsite Tonight app. Go to campsitetonight.app, download it. If you're planning on doing some camping, I'm going to tell you right now, if you haven't already booked out your Memorial Day weekend camping spot, you ain't going to get one, right? These things go fast. This campsitetonight.app is hotel.com, but for campsites. Starting in California, if you are a California camper, you got to download this right now. It also supports a neighbor of mine. This is his passion project. And that's what we do around here in this community. We support each other. We support small businesses and that entrepreneurial spiritual spirit. I never cared that much about the entrepreneurial spirit until I got thrown into it. Here I am. I'm entrepreneuring right now. How's it going? No super chat. So apparently not great today, but that's fine. The only reason why I really want a super chat is because I want to see if it also pops up a different special color on the screen. We're doing the pop up on the screen thing again today. This new feature that has been built in. Like I told you, we do have some visual aids for today's show. We'll get to those in just a second. But the final note of the live stream is that the Buffalo Bills apparently will be on HBO's Hard Knocks this year. It's going to be the Buffalo Bills. Hard Knocks isn't nearly the peak behind the curtain that it used to be, but I still enjoy the show. I'll watch Buffalo Bills Hard Knocks. Little spotlight on upstate New York. Hopefully there's gonna be an awful lot of like wing porn, I'm sure, baked into that series. So we're going to get Buffalo Bills Hard Knocks. Oh, by the way, so Danny brings up the test. Danny, so normally when I see you on the stream, it comes up in a little different color. See, there you go. Thank you very much. But Danny, it doesn't come up in your stream a different color. JJ Raider, the king of the ganja jar himself. This is to test the new chat on screen. Frisco Shells. If players can't ride motorcycles, then no flag football. Thank you. Thank you very much. I agree with that right there. We could have done my entire segment in that sentence alone. Sporticus saying no one's been knocked harder than the Buffalo Bills. Hashtag appropriate. Sporticus. All I can tell you is that that's a good team. It's got the reigning MVP. Sure, go ahead. Give me the Buffalo Bills on Hard Knocks. Apparently, Hard Knocks in season is going to feature the NFC East. Okay. I mean, I understand why they picked the NFC East. You got the defending Super Bowl champions. You got one of the rising teams and stars in the league in Washington. You've got the rebuild that's going on in New York, and watching the deconstruction of the Giants on Hard Knocks was interesting enough. The trading Saquon Barkley gave us maybe our last really interesting, by the way, Legends Pizza in here. Good to see you, Legends. How are you? It gave us our last real interesting moment from Hard Knocks when they were filming, what John Mara say, if we lose Barkley to the Eagles, I don't think I'm going to be able to live with that. Oops. And of course, you get the Dallas Cowboys. And the Dallas Cowboys, I think, have been on Hard Knocks more than anybody else already. So more Dallas Cowboys. Okay. New York Giants. Okay. But the Eagles, the Commanders, yeah, I'm interested. I'll watch the in-season Hard Knocks for the two of them alone, I would think. I would agree with you, Sporticus. The AFC North Hard Knocks last year was good. I agree. I like it, man. I thought it was really interesting. Hard Knocks is, I think, doing that because their original idea for an in-season Hard Knocks was going to be Hard Knocks UNC Tar Heels. Hard Knocks was going to follow Bill Belichick into college football and have him be the Hard Knocks guy, and that be the in-season Hard Knocks team. But then Bill Belichick's 24-year-old girlfriend apparently was a major reason why all of that got shot down. She went to the meeting that HBO was having with North Carolina, and she said that she wanted a piece. She wanted like an executive producer title and part ownership. Now, she said that because she apparently is working with another production company that has already agreed to give her those things if they do it over there. So you've got little Miss Succubus overplaying her hand, and I don't know if that is going to be green lit, but we do know that it was going to be the Tar Heels, and then it wasn't, and a lot of people say it's her fault. Well, rumor is that Bill Belichick is now engaged to this woman who is day by day ruining his credibility and career, turning him into like a laughingstock. I mean, it is normally you see a guy that old banging a chick that young and hot. Like most guys are like, cool. Even though it's kind of gross. Most guys be like, yeah, trophy cheerleader. They're not even trophy. What trophy cheerleader? Good for Bill. Blah, blah, blah. Viagra for everyone. No one's saying that about this. That's how gross this is. And just the way that she's been so overbearing in his career. Just gross. By the way, in case you're one of those people who are like, Damon, love is blind. Come on. Stop crapping on these people. What'd they ever do to you? They never did anything to me. But let me show you this picture of the couple from back in 2002. Or excuse me, 2000. Little creepy, isn't it? There's Bill Belichick. And there's his girlfriend back in the year 2000. Do you get why I'm saying this is absolutely fucking disgusting now? Do you get it? Ew. Ew. What's that one guy? He's like he's clearly from the Middle East, but he's like, ew, bro. That's I see that meme in my head, that gif in my head all the time. Ew. No, ew. There you go. That's all the football I got for you today. Football segment ends on Bill Belichick and baby picture from 2000. We now pivot. And I got another baby picture to show you, my baby. But we'll get there in just a second. Let me just ask you quickly, what if Steph Curry got the Shai Gilgeous-Alexander whistle? Seriously, like what if Steph Curry got the Shai Gilgeous-Alexander whistle? How come a dude who's not won an MVP and has not won an NBA Finals, and look, all that could change in the next 10 days, right? You know, the Thunder are up 1-0 now on Minnesota. And, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander probably could and will be the MVP of this league. And I think his team's going to win the NBA Finals. They're really good. Do you realize that the Golden State Warriors would have 7 championships under Steve Kerr if Steph Curry got a whistle like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander got last night? To brush jerseys with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander last night. That got him to the free throw line. I mean, incidental contact that might have been initiated by him got him to the free throw line. Over and over and over and over and over and over again. It's unbelievable. If Steph Curry got any of that, again, the Warriors would have 7 NBA titles right now. Steph Curry would be averaging 38 to 42 points per game. Easily, if he got to the line like that. Anyways, Thunder won game 1, pulling away in the third, not really looking back. Tonight, we get the Bing Bong Knicks. Madison Square Garden is going to be bonkers. I love it. That's a great setting. The Pacers looking to go in there and play spoilers. The Pacers have been a thorn in Knicks playoff dreams going back generations. Not only is this a huge game at Madison Square Garden, but this is going to be the last ever series covered on TNT before that package moves over to ESPN full time. And this is the last inside the NBA that is going to be totally under the umbrella of TNT, even though they're going to keep an awful lot of the people in place. It will change. There's no doubt about that. ESPN kind of ruins everything it gets its hands on somehow, some way. They find a way to do it. But anyways, with TNT in New York, that means Charles Barkley is obviously in New York going to these games. And my wife is in business on New York. And last night in the hotel lobby, you want to talk about an old man and a young hot chick right there. That's my wife. She's not happy with her smile. She's like, I look like I'm squinty. She doesn't like that picture, but honey, you're beautiful. Nice purse. Good. Looking good. Charles obviously going super cash down in the hotel bar. There you go. Jillian and Charles Barkley. But if that wasn't enough, so she got put in this hotel room by Salesforce. She works for Slack, but that's under Salesforce. She got put in this hotel, and they screwed up. They screwed up her reservation to the point where the only thing they could do for her was give her some like sky penthouse suite. And she was showing me a video of the hotel room she's staying in. It's the size of our house. It comes with a butler. But because my wife's got, a lot of points because of the traveling for business that she does, she goes on like 4 or 5 trips a year, every year for 20 years. So she's got a lot of points, a lot of status. She gets upgrades all the time. If you're going to go traveling with anyone and they're going to screw up your reservations, hopefully you're traveling with Jillian, because Jillian usually be like, it's all right, we're going to get taken care of. So she stays in nice hotels when she's on business trips. She stays in nicer hotels on business trips than we do when we are, on our honeymoon. That's why I went to Japan with her. We had a beautiful hotel. You saw the Japanese toilet. You were there on draft day. Anyway, this is a nice enough hotel. Jillian, at the end of the day, she goes down to the bar. She meets Charles Barkley, and she's looking around the bar, and she notices, number one, little bit of a sausage fest. And number two, a lot of like bigger, athletic looking guy. What's going on in here? And then she looked and she saw a face that was familiar to her and will be familiar to you as well. All I can tell you is that when you're traveling and you get to bump into someone who is from your hometown or used to live in your hometown, it's always nice. It makes you feel like, you're a little less on the road. It's a little bit closer to home. And last night, Jillian found another Bruce. Boch. The Texas Rangers are staying at this hotel as well. That's why there were so many dudes in the bar. The Texas Rangers are staying in her hotel. Jillian, she knows Bruce Bochy through being a Giants fan, through being my wife, and being with me at many Guardsman events. You can still see, by the way, you can still see the Guardsman helmet here in this Bruce Bochy picture. Right over here. You can see my hand popping in. That's the Guardsman Sports Auction helmet that they were nice enough to gift me this year. And there you go. Now, Red Jet, very sweet of Red Jet to say, hey, Bruce Bochy met Jillian. She is amazing. No, you're right about that. Absolutely. Jillian. I recognize you. And here's the thing. She goes up to him and she's like, you probably don't recognize me, but you know my husband. She's like, it's Damon Bruce. And he's like, oh, how's Damon doing? Boch and I got along great. He's a really good guy. So that happens. She calls me when she's up in the room. She's like, you're not going to believe it. She sends me those pictures. And I'm like, honey, what you really got to do is get Bochy's email address so I can have him on the show, and see if you can do it for Charles Barkley too. So she went back down. Barkley was already gone, but Bochy was still there. Bochy gave me his Texas Rangers email. It gave it to Jillian. She forwarded it to me, and I'm going to email him later today. And who knows? Maybe Bruce Bochy will be on the show sometime soon. here on the channel. That'd be great. But I appreciate it. I really do. Send it in, Jillian. Indeed. She gets a for putting all up that. Red Jet wants some Z snaps for Jillian. Absolutely. There you go. So it's a pretty cool night in New York City, right? Bump into Barkley, bump into Bruce Bochy, helped you win 3 world championships as a fan. Hey, Boch. I told Jillian, I said, what you should have really done was ask him for his tickets to Yankee Stadium. See if you can't get those Boch tickets. Go to Yankees Rangers tonight. Freaking work. One of the reasons why I do have to get going here is because I'm going to get caught up in a little 280 meets the city traffic, because when I got to drive in, we got day baseball at 24 Willie Mays Plaza. We got Giants and Royals. San Francisco looking to win this 3-game series behind Logan Webb this afternoon. A win today would give the Giants a 6-3 record on this 9-game homestand. I'm going to tell you right now, you win 6 out of every 9 games you play, you're going to have a great year. Hayden Birdsong got his win, his second win of the year in his first start of the season last night. So good to see Birdsong get back into the rotation, have some success right away. Up next, after today's game against the Royals, it's a 9-game road trip. They're going to spend Memorial Day weekend in Washington, D.C. They're going to get to Detroit on Memorial Day Monday for 3 games with the world-beating Tigers right now. And in case you haven't been paying much attention to baseball, the Detroit Tigers' 32 wins are the most in the major leagues. Right now, there is no team winning more games than the Tigers. They're on fire. And then it's the South Beach for 3 with the Marlins. The Marlins only have 3 more wins than the White Sox. They're really bad. So, a not too great Nationals team, a very good Tigers team, and then a go feast upon them Miami team. Hopefully that's in the next 9 games for the San Francisco Giants. By the way, as I was just poking around the standings today, I saw this, and I got to share it with you because this is going to piss you off, especially if you used to root for the green and gold, and we all know how that was ruined. You could almost say it was by design. But first, the Colorado Rockies. The Colorado Rockies might not have double-digit wins by Memorial Day. Right now, the Colorado Rockies are 8-40. They're 8-40. That's really bad. And I was like, has any team ever not had at least 10 wins by Memorial Day? And the answer was a very not too distant memory. The 2023 Oakland A's, it was almost like they were trying to be ruined by someone who wanted to fracture a city's relationship with a franchise. The 2023 Oakland A's are the team with the fewest wins before Memorial Day with a record of 10-40. So there you go. The worst ever record at Memorial Day belonged to the A's at 10-40 just 2 years ago, the 2023 Oakland A's. Fuck you, John Fisher. Luckily, I've seen right through you like a pane of glass for years. You ain't sneaking up on me. Are you ready for a little history? Kind of a fun today in history today. Some really cool stuff happened today. Are you ready? Here we go. First of all, happy birthday. We already mentioned the Buffalo Bills. They're going to be on Hard Knocks. Well, they're going to be there with their now 29-year-old quarterback, Josh Allen. Happy birthday. 29 years old for the reigning NFL MVP. Or did Lamar win that again? I don't know. So like one of the other ones that every year. I don't even care anymore. Judge Reinhold, 68 years old today. Did anybody knock anymore? One of the great lines from Fast Times at Ridgemont High when he's in there. You know the scene. You know, getting out of the pool. Judge Reinhold. Great and Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Let's see. Happy birthday. I pity the fool who doesn't celebrate Mr. T's 73rd birthday. Mr. T is 73 years old today. Happy birthday to a former senator, but big deal, former senator. He's a Saturday Night Live alumni and a noted deadhead. Al Franken turns 74 years old today. And a man who would have been celebrating a birthday today, but given what's happening to his former best friend and business partner, is probably very glad that he is dead himself. Today would have been Notorious B.I.G.'s birthday, but again, he'd be going down in flames with Puffy right now, wouldn't he? By the way, you want to see some disturbing shit? Go ahead and read how Puff Daddy treated people and his girlfriends. Oh my Lord. Not a good guy. Not a good guy. Allegedly. By the way, the jokes about all that lube that he had, now we're reading about these stories, makes sense. You're gonna need that much lube to stick the things in the places where this guy was looking to stick things in places, not like one night of the week. This would be like every night of the week. This guy was sick. Did most of his sexual traffic and raping in Trump hotels, by the way. They were really accommodating to him. So I just want to put that on the record as well. Again, that's not my opinion. These are facts coming out in the court of law. Okay. Enough about B.I.G. Enough about Puffy. It's so gross. Okay. Let's talk about somebody who put some good into the world. How many things happened in 1881 that are still today regarded by everybody in a world that can't agree on anything? Everybody pretty much votes yes on like the American Red Cross. That's the last thing that America puts out into the world that isn't offensive in somehow, some way right now. Today in 1881, Clara Barton founded the American Association of the Red Cross. It would just become the American Red Cross eventually. But today in 1881, happy birthday to the Red Cross. They've done an awful lot of good, to say the least. Let's see. Today in 1927, and this again, it correlates with what, by the way, oh my God. How about yesterday? We talked about all those final episodes. One of the final episodes was the final episode of Cheers. And then that day, yesterday, we learned that George Wendt passed away, the guy who played Norm. So it's weird when today in history directly relates to something historic that happens. The fact that George Wendt and the character of Norm officially passes away on the same day that Cheers went off the air. I mean, there's something kind of beautiful about that, isn't there? Like, it's pretty cool, the cosmos. Okay, anyways, yesterday on Today in History, we told you that Charles Lindbergh took off for the very first solo piloting trip. And I remember yesterday during Today in History, we had to wrap it up quick because I really had to take a leak. So maybe I didn't give you all the details, but yesterday, Charles Lindbergh took off on a nonstop solo flight across the Atlantic Ocean. He would land in Paris in the Spirit of St. Louis. Well, he took off yesterday. Today in history, he landed about 33 and a half hours later. The Spirit of St. Louis touched down at an airfield in Paris. So there you go. Took off yesterday, landed today. Makes a lot of sense, history. Today in 1932, no coincidence, timed to happen on the anniversary of Charles Lindbergh's trip. Today in 1932, American aviator Amelia Earhart became the very first woman to pilot a plane solo across the Atlantic Ocean. So there you go. Amelia Earhart officially became world famous today in 1932, and then would become even more infamous for disappearing in the Bermuda Triangle. Let's see. Today in 1955, a guy named George Hansberg in Walker Valley, New York, was issued a patent for inventing what he called an improved pogo stick. The pogo stick. By the way, if you ever try to get on a pogo stick, that is the least amount of fun you can have as a kid. That you get like 2 jumps and then you fall. The pogo stick sucks. But there was nothing to do. They didn't have PlayStation back then. So they were just pogo sticking their dicks off back then as little kids. The pogo stick as you know it today in 1955. Today in 1980. Are you ready for this? Today in 1980. Wile E. Coyote finally caught the Roadrunner. I was a huge fan of the Roadrunner, Wile E. Coyote, Looney Tunes. And there is but one actual cartoon where he actually catches them. And that was today in 1980. The Coyote finally caught the Roadrunner. It's called Soup or Sonic. That came out today. Now, there was nothing bad that could happen because in order to catch the coyote, the Roadrunner, the coyote shrunk himself down or to blow the Roadrunner up so he couldn't eat him. There was no like violence at the end of it. He even holds up his sign. He's like, well, you always wanted me to catch him. Now what do I do? But it's the only actual like canon Roadrunner Wile E. Coyote where the Wile E. Coyote catches the Roadrunner. So that, that probably won't make a lot of history lessons today, but it makes mine. That makes my history lesson. Wile E. Coyote, super genius. Absolutely. Amelia Earhart was lost in the Pacific, not the Bermuda Triangle. Oh, really? I thought she went down in the Bermuda Triangle. All right, we'll have to look that up. Eventually, the day Amelia Earhart disappeared will be part of our Today in History, and then we'll know about it. I'll just take your word for that one. Okay, all right, so we move along. Because another thing that was a huge part of my childhood came out today in 1980. Dun, 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 dun. I thought they smelled bad on the outside. Empire Strikes Back today, 1980. I mean, find me a movie that impacted my childhood bigger than that. I don't think there is one. I don't think you can. Empire Strikes Back is the greatest piece of Star Wars ever. Now, I actually saw that the new Andor series like rates higher. So I actually started it. I'm almost at the end of season 1. I'll tell you, Andor is good. But season 2 better like hop off the TV and give me a blowjob in person because there's no, how can it be better than Empire Strikes Back? I mean, come on, really? Okay, I feel like you're being a little bit of a prisoner of the moment there, but maybe it is good. I don't like any of the Star Wars Disney Plus spinoffs, but for The Mandalorian and Andor, I like it. Again, Jillian's been in India, Jillian's in New York, so I actually have the TV when the kids go to bed. And so I've been watching some things that otherwise I wouldn't be watching. I like Andor, but it's no Empire Strikes Back, which came out today in 1980, for goodness sakes. By the way, today in 1992, the final episode of MacGyver aired on ABC. In order to take it off the air, they needed a rubber band, a Band-Aid, and a toothpick. And that's how they got it off the air. Congratulations. At least we got MacGruber. Also, today in 1992, the very first episode of The Real World aired on MTV. Now, The Real World wasn't a big part of my childhood, but it was a big part of my teenage years and my college years when I was in college, that's when Real World San Francisco, remember Pedro? Pedro was like the first person on TV with AIDS. And Puck was like a bike messenger in San Francisco. Like bike messengers used to have like status symbols in San Francisco. And so this guy named Puck was, the camera loved him. Either way, I remember that road rules being huge. And then I remember the LA road rules being huge, where that one girl, in order to lose weight, wired her jaw shut. That was a little extreme. I mean, here's the thing. Even if you do want to wire your jaw shut to lose a little weight, why would you actually do that on the show? Why wouldn't you do that either before the show or after the show? Oh, that's right. She was just trying to be interesting. And since there was really nothing interesting about her, they had to wire her mouth shut. The greatest gift I guess we got from the real world was Kyle Brandt of NFL Network, formerly of the Jim Rome Show. Kyle Brandt was a Real World cast member, Real World Chicago, and that's the last time I ever watched a Real World. That was it. I got like 3 seasons that I kind of paid attention to because I was in college and all your friends were watching it at night anyways, and there you go. Regular Ryan says, we got The Miz too. Boom, there you go. You're right. By the way, George Wendt, is that, or do you look like George Wendt, or is George Wendt your avatar? Yeah. Okay. Theo Vaughn was on The Real World. I know who Theo Vaughn, I don't know who Christina P is. Theo Vaughn was on The Real World? I did not know. Is that where we found Theo Vaughn? Oh, apparently Christina P is Tom Segura's wife. Apparently Tom Segura has a new Netflix thing out that's pretty nuts. I got to check it out. I've had 3 of my friends who all have 6 senses of humor say, you should watch this show. It's pretty good. Okay. So we did MacGyver. We did The Real World. We did Pedro and Puck. We did okay. Today in 1999, she finally got one. Today in 1999, they would no longer Susan Lucci. Susan Lucci was nominated so many times for a daytime Emmy, 18 times in a row without a win, that being Susan Lucci turned into a phrase to say it's just an honor to be nominated. She finally won one. Susan Lucci. She played Erica Kane on I didn't write down. Oh no, All My Children. There it is. Erica Kane. I never watched it. Never watched a soap opera. Never was a soap opera guy, but I knew about Susan Lucci. I think winning the Emmy actually hurt her career because she was more known, I think, for the streak of not winning than when she won. Anyway, finally, today in 2001, evangelical preacher and very popular radio broadcaster, a guy named Harold Camping, predicted that the world would end. It didn't. The show goes on. I don't know if his show went on. I don't know how many radio shows are going on, but I know that this show is going on, and boy, do I appreciate you being here each and every day. Thanks to the supers who did our little experiment. Does it actually pop up in the little on-screen chat in a different color? It does not, but again, it's all nice and blue over here. Thank you, Frisco. Thank you, JJ. And thank you, Danny, for testing that out. Thanks for all the supers. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for subscribing if you have not already. I mean, what is wrong with you? You haven't subscribed to the channel? Why would that be? Go ahead, like and subscribe if you would, please. Again, it's funny. I didn't have a football Niner specific thumbnail up, which always means we're going to have a smaller crowd, but a smaller crowd means it's us. It's the clique. We're hanging out together here. And it was so good to see so many of you in here. Your names bring me a smile every single time I see you back in here day after day. It means the world to me. Thank you so very, very much. And hey, enjoy some playoff basketball tonight. We'll see if the Giants get 2 out of 3 against the Royals. Let's go. Give me all the sports you can in the summer. But don't give me any NFL participation in Olympic flag football. That is unnecessary. Meanwhile, sports don't build character. They reveal it. And like that, he's gone.